Alexander here, October 11th, 2015. I need to focus on the general picture with regards to the subject of this video. Over at amtvmedia.com, if you look at the news section, I am posting all relevant news regarding the Russian presence in Syria, and of course popular opinion of Putin. And I'm just simply posting the articles at that website, but in my commentary, the color commentary behind the black and white headlines, the story behind the story, the reality behind the facts and figures, is that if I'm to believe that Putin is going to be some rescuer of the people of the world, the American people, people of Syria, people of Afghanistan, people of Iraq, if I'm supposed to believe that Putin is actually doing something for his people, then I might as well go back a few years and become a Obama supporter. Because the same fundamentals in how you build up a Messiah-like political figure, and it's been this way with Putin for years. This is not some new development. What we're seeing now in 2015 is more propaganda than ever, that there is such a thing as potentially a world leader or a world rescuer who is the one standing against the New World Order system. And when Obama came out, he was going to pull troops out of Afghanistan, pull troops out of Iraq. You know, he talked about all these things that he was going to do that never happened. This isn't really about Obama, however. Most of the viewers of this channel know that. But I'm also shocked that, you know, I don't know whether it's 1% or 5%. To play it safe, we may be looking at 1%. I think less than 1% of those people claiming they're awake see Russia's role in the New World Order. I think that it's only a small percentage that even understands that Russia has helped logistically the United States maintain its presence in the Middle East. Those military bases with American jets and destroyers and things of that nature get into certain waters and territories. They couldn't do it without the help of not only Russia but other European countries, of course, other Middle Eastern countries, and China financed the whole operation. So I see a massive PR move for Putin, for China. In addition, China's been in Africa fighting Ebola. And so in the last year, their UN peacekeepers are much more active. And right now, the world is seeing these rising militaries out of the East that have been building for some time, building in response to U.S. aggression with the same technology the U.S. is using, in some cases a more inferior version, with the U.S. having the upper hand in that weapon. In some cases, China and Russia have the upper hand, and they have weapons that can absolutely annihilate things being owned by the U.S. military. Meanwhile, they set up years ago for China to have the monopoly on rare earth minerals, mined in countries like Afghanistan and other conflict regions, specific minerals, metals, things of that nature, things that could be used as conductors in missile technology, weapons technologies. So they've got it set up for the United States to be dependent on China financially, militarily, and they've got it set up for China and Russia to have control over the moon after the 2020s. Of course, there's different debates on whether or not they actually went to the moon and what's going on the moon, but the facts are the facts. NASA has been privatized and is being dismantled piece by piece, but being rebuilt and reintegrated into this one world order space program. Not to mention they're talking about trips to Mars, starting around 2023, moving into the 2030s. That would be one-way trips to Mars, if in fact it's even possible to get to Mars. But the claim's being made that they're going to be jumping off to Mars during a period in time when I think is the period where we're more than likely to see a World War scenario directly affecting the United States, in which there could be a response that results in occupation of aspects or parts of U.S. soil, even if the whole event is being staged. We are moving in this direction where Russia and China are now going after terrorists. They've also established that there are domestic terrorists in the United States, sovereign groups, and there's parts of the United States that are being sold to foreign governments, perhaps Some of those areas could be areas that are currently residential, off the grid, national monuments. There's a number of things that can cause massive civil unrest in the United States when the staged economy really implodes and we owe everything to China and we're expected to move off our property and move off our land, and all of a sudden there's a resistance movement popping up and people are no longer liking the foreign troop joint drills that will be increasing more than likely by that time. So while they prepare for war against each other, they also have troops in each other's country practicing helping keeping the people in line. Meanwhile, the world leaders, they're supposedly at odds with other world leaders, are vacationing together and getting blowjobs together from $10,000 hookers or whatever else goes on behind closed doors. But the fact of the matter is they do vacation together from time to time, as Putin for years has vacationed with the Bush family. And nowadays, with the internet and mass awareness, there is going to be a little more secrecy applied to certain meetings nowadays to make it less obvious that they are that interconnected. Because nowadays, when you look at the news, you see awkward handshakes between Putin and Obama, and people are looking at this almost like banging their chest and making monkey noises in response to propaganda. The whole thing's being designed to make the U.S. look like the ultimate Satan. And me stating that this is the plan is not a vote for anything the U.S. has done. It's only been used as a vessel of destruction, just like other countries in the past. We have other countries like Nazi Germany. We have other periods of time like the Roman Empire. We have other examples of societies reaching a peak of absolute control and then imploding on themselves, but it didn't mean that tyranny left the earth, or that evil draconian empires rule over people left the earth. Only certain nation states and empires. But the situation on the earth with the control structure has remained the same the whole time, as it will with what's going to happen with the fall of the United States and the rise of the Chinese-Russian New World Order. They're still going to be using the same technology. Google's going to be working with those. They already are working with those nations, despite, the strife that you see in the media. This new world order is already being built out of the ashes of the old world order. The whole point of this video is to highlight, as we close, Putin is a god to some people right now because he's doing what the United States couldn't do in all the years that it was there. Doesn't anybody realize this is deliberate between the United States government and Russia to do a stand down and create terrorism and let the world know that and have all the blame point at one country, while the other criminal countries also profiting from the occupations, from the drug trade, the illegal heroin drug trade, the international sex slave trade, white slavery. All these governments are involved in it. Organ harvesting, and all the things going on domestically within Russia, past, present, and future. I mean, how stupid have some people become? They become gullible. And a lot of human brains, they look at left, right, good guy, good cop, bad cop. They are looking at this from a lesser of evil scenario, just like this is like, oh, well, at least Obama isn't Bush. And now we're seeing on the larger level, at least Putin isn't Obama. Look, they struck 50 targets in ISIS in how many hours? Look at the technology they have. Look, they're saving the day. Like, cue some cheesy song from the late 80s, saving the day, off the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack. Saving the day, dun, 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 saving the day. There's Putin. There are all the bikini girls dancing behind him. They're doing the Thriller dance, a little bit of twerking back and forth. Oh, yeah, Putin, a god. He just got Obama in his bicep. Literally, we're in a mass mind control matrix right now to where they have captivated a large amount of viewers that at one point started to wake up that there were corruptions and deceptions and things that weren't true coming from politicians. Now they've created a matrix within a matrix that it's really all about this system and this guy, this Obama dude. These other people are like liberator Jesus folks that can walk on water. And I swear, I'm already seeing the Putin walk on water memes. It's happening right now. And some people forgot that we're on the earth to evolve as souls. And so they're not realizing how wasting your time giving energy to someone that may turn around and fuck the United States has nothing to do with spiritual evolution and is showing some serious dumbing down of basic human intuition. I believe that we're all intuitive on some level. We all know things inside of us. And if there are people that are not seeing this stuff, they're not seeing the obvious control structure, then who knows what else they're not seeing. So just because people are aware of some conspiracy realities, from what I can see and having been involved in this over 11 years, quite a few have had their awareness redirected in the last several years to where this awareness could have gone somewhere. And now it's all these crazy spiraling circles and disinformation on the internet, sending people in different directions, and it's something that needs to be talked about. We're in a time of great confusion here. Great confusion, not just in this country, and perhaps not just on this planet. And I really needed to make this video and highlight the fact that this is a massive deception taking place, what is taking place in Syria. And what is taking place in Syria can easily happen to the people of the United States. The people of the United States can easily be labeled terrorists or enemy combatants if they're defending their land, and at a time where some of the stuff could be coming up to a head, where there is more eminent domain or declarations that sections of certain states will be designated as economic zones. That's a time where there'll be a lot more weaponized drones in the sky and a lot more advanced killing machine weaponry over our own skies, not just the Middle East. And so people have to keep their eyes on this. This is a story that is still in development. Instead of just assuming that everything's going to melt down next month and there's going to be World War III, I advocate people look at the long-term plan of China and Russia in the post-2020s. They're building something, and they're not done building, and they're not going to start blowing up each other yet. They are building this, and on the road towards this new enterprise, it's in their interest to make Putin a god on earth. They need to have the popular opinion. They need to have the support, the energy of the people of the world to build this new world order in the East. That's why you will not see World War III in the next couple of years. You will see manufactured events that make the Chinese and Russian militaries look like saviors. Saviors in Africa, saviors in the Middle East. Defenders of freedom, defenders of liberty, and those armies opposing the New World Order. That's the script being put out there right now in the world, and it's the biggest deception that I think this is even a bigger deception than 9/11. I'm Alex Ansary, signing off from the San Luis Valley, October 11th, 2015.